everyone, I'm Katrina, and for those of you who have recently started out on booktube or are thinking about creating your own channel, I wanted to share some tips, tricks and pieces of advice that I hope you find a bit helpful in maybe trying to find the motivation to start up a new channel or finding that confidence in yourself and in your videos. First, as a bit of a disclaimer, I just want to say that I'm not an expert in any way. So the things that I'm going to share with you today, they're not going to guarantee lots of views or subscribers or anything like that. My aim in this video is to hopefully help some of you out, even in the smallest way, in finding that confidence or maybe discovering what is unique about you that you can bring to the community. I also have a playlist of a bunch of videos that share other tips and pieces of advice from a range of different booktubers, so I'll leave a link to that playlist down below. I haven't updated the playlist much recently, but I know there are lots of great videos out there, so if you have made one or you've come across one that you really enjoyed, please leave a link to it down below and I will add it to the playlist. So moving on, I have split this video up into 5 parts. I'm going to be talking about terminology, equipment, filming, editing, and getting seen. I will leave annotations up on the screen so you can skip to certain sections or go back and forth, do whatever you please. So if there's something specifically that you want to know more about, then you can skip ahead because I think this video might be a bit long. Terminology. So here in booktube, we use some phrases and words that you might not have come across before, and they might be a little bit confusing, so I thought I'd cover the basics and start off here. First of all is booktube. A lot of people do magically stumble across our little corner of YouTube and they don't really understand what it is. Basically, in its essence, it is a community of people who make videos about books, hence booktube. We love books, we love to read, and we love to share our passion for it. So we make videos about it. Next is haul, or more specifically, a book haul. These are videos in which we showcase the books we've recently bought, acquired, borrowed, anything like that. Some booktubers like to do this monthly, so they do a haul of all the books that they received in a particular month. And personally, I think it's a great way to discover new, exciting books. Next, we have a wrap-up, and these refer to videos in which we talk about all the books that we've recently read. This is another one that is often done monthly, but some people do it bi-monthly or quarterly or over the summer or yearly or things like that. Basically, it's talking about the books that they've recently read and also what they thought about the book, whether just kind of generally or a little more specifically about whether they liked the book or not, why or why not. This is another great way to discover some new books, especially if you find people that you have similar tastes to. Next, we have TBR, and this is short for to be read. In its general sense, this refers to the pile, shelf, room full of books that you own but have not read. It could also refer to books that you want to read but you don't necessarily own, but it's basically books that you want to read but haven't yet. So when people post a TBR video, they're usually talking about books they hope to read in the near future, whether that be on a monthly basis or over the summer during a readathon, things like that. Next is readathon, and what this refers to is basically a reading marathon. It is a set period of time. It could be 24-hour, over a weekend, over a week, over a fortnight, month. It's pretty much just any set amount of time that is meant to be dedicated to reading. For me personally, it's a great motivator to read more than I usually do. For some people it doesn't work, it's a bit too stressful, but I love them. I think they're so much fun. There are lots of readathons hosted on various book blogs and things like that, but booktube does have its own special readathon called the Booktubeathon. It's just amazing seeing so many people in the booktube community coming together and devoting a single week to just reading lots and lots and lots, and also having fun with various video and reading challenges for each day and prizes and fun things like that. It's just all around a fun time. Something you might hear in regards to readathons is a reading sprint. Within this marathon of reading, people often like to host reading sprints, and that's basically where people come together, they set a period of time, usually I see 15, 30, 45 or 60 minutes, and in that time frame you only read. Typically these are hosted on Twitter, and I think they're a great way to get yourself reading if you're struggling to find the motivation, because people come together and they might make it a little competitive or just a fun thing. Me personally, I like to get competitive. But if in a readathon you're struggling to find the motivation, I often find that reading sprints really help. And with these as well, some people like to have challenges, like searching for a specific thing in the book they're reading, or posting pictures of themselves, of their books, of different objects, different scenarios, just random things like that. Next we have tags, and this isn't necessarily specific to BookTube. You'll see a lot of these across the entirety of YouTube, but in BookTube we usually like to have tags that are kind of book related. And these are basically videos that are centered around a certain theme or idea. Generally they have questions pertaining to that idea or theme that people are invited to answer. Sometimes there are kind of more challenge tags like bookshelf scavenger hunts or book tower challenges. Lots of fun, kind of stressful, but fun things. So people do these videos, they do the challenge or they answer the questions, and then they tag someone else to do it. So it kind of just spreads throughout the community. Next is an ARC or an ARC, and this is short for Advanced Reader Copy. So when it comes to publishing books, before the official release date of a book, publishers will often have advanced reader copies, and these are pre-released copies of the books. These are not finished copies, so they may not be completely and perfectly edited, but they are released out into the world for people to review and give feedback on, and kind of just get a bit of buzz going before the book is released. And so basically, if you do receive ARCs, you are expected to, in return, give an honest review of that book. If you're interested in learning a little more about ARCs, I could possibly do a video about that. So I think that covers most of the basics. I might have missed some things. If there is anything that you're confused about or would like explained, just leave it down in the comments and I'll add it to the description of this video. Equipment. Obviously, you need a device that is able to record videos. The important thing to remember is you don't need to spend a lot of money in order to film good quality videos. If you're looking for like a camera, there are obviously like digital cameras, DSLR cameras, video cameras. I use a Canon EOS 60D, but before I decided what camera I wanted, and I suggest you do this as well, I looked online, both at reviews on different websites, but also take to YouTube. I'm not entirely sure what it was that I searched, but it was something along the lines of good DSLR cameras for filming or making videos. So have a look and see what there is out there that's affordable, that will work for what you need it for. But if you don't want to spend money on getting a new camera and you don't have one already, you still have some options. If you have a laptop or desktop computer that has an inbuilt camera, just use that. Alternatively, you can use something like this. An iPhone, an iPod, an iPad, or even an Android device, tablet. I'm not entirely sure. I'm more familiar with this side of things. I've forgotten who made this video, but someone did a really wonderful tutorial video on how to make YouTube videos using your iPhone. The later versions of the iPhone actually have really good quality cameras, and you can make fantastic videos with them. So if you do have something like this you could possibly use, definitely take a look at that tutorial video. So now that we have something to film with, another important factor is lighting. First and foremost, you do not have to spend any money. The sunshine is my absolute best friend when it comes to filming videos. Recently though, I have been using another source of lighting, especially when it's nighttime. This is my other best friend, this lamp, and it just has like a really white bulb, and I have it on this side of me so that the lighting's a little more even and I don't have this shadow on this side because I've only got one source of sunlight. So if you have something like that lying around the house, use it. I do have one other source of lighting that I really want to mention because I think this is an ingenious idea. So I was watching Lainey's video from Ginger Reads Lainey. She did an advice video for booktubers as well, and what she uses for lighting, I think, is amazing. So she uses a TV screen for lighting. She has a screen there, puts up a cartoon because they use really bright and vibrant colors, and just has it paused. And there we go. Lighting. If you want to check out the rest of her video, it is in the playlist that I've linked below. Now for filming. This seems to be one of the steps that people are quite anxious about. They don't feel comfortable sitting in front of a camera and talking to a camera lens. To be honest, it is kind of weird. It does take a bit of getting used to. So the best piece of advice I have is practice. Literally just practice sitting in front of a camera and talking to it. This can be just like vlog style or actually trying mock videos. With this though, keep in mind, you don't have to show anyone what you have filmed. You can seriously just delete it as soon as you've filmed, but I would also suggest actually putting it onto your computer or playing back the video and seeing what it is that you like and don't like and what you can do to kind of feel more comfortable or improve in whatever ways you feel appropriate. If you're struggling to find the words to say, if you're not entirely sure how you should go about talking to a camera, it might be an idea to try scripting videos or at least making notes. When I started, that's what I did. I scripted because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to say things that I want to say. Be yourself. If you're trying to be someone that you're not or expressing certain opinions that you don't actually agree with, people are probably going to be able to pick up on that. But not only that, you're not going to be able to establish true connections with other people. If you're wanting to make friends that you have things in common with, that you can relate to and discuss things, it's not really going to work if you're not being true to who you are. Talk about about the things you are passionate about, that you really love, you really hate. Those feelings and emotions really shine through the camera. If there is a particular video that everybody else seems to be doing but you don't want to do it, there's no reason to. Now for editing, and this step is optional. If you are one of those incredibly talented people that can film for 5 minutes straight without stuttering and umming and ahhing excessively, and you can get your point across fairly concisely, there's really no reason for you to need to edit. But if, like me, your raw footage of a video is about 30 minutes long, but only 5 of those minutes are decent, you might want to consider editing. And to do this, again, you don't have to spend any money. If you have a PC computer, you can use Windows Movie Maker. If you have a Mac, you can use iMovie. There is absolutely nothing wrong with using these programs, especially if you are just starting out and kind of trying to learn how to edit. There's no reason to get an expensive program that's really complex and has all these crazy features you just don't know how to use. If you are looking to just learn the basics of editing, I advise just starting out there. If you do want to look for a new program that does have some extra features, you're probably going to have to spend a little bit of money. On my Mac, I use Final Cut Pro, but before I had this computer, I did have PCs, and the program that I liked the most was this one called TrackAxe, and this one actually is pretty inexpensive. So if you are interested in taking a look at it, I'll leave a link to the website down below. But what I would definitely suggest you do is try the free trial. I'm pretty sure most programs have this option. The typical length I see is about 30 days, so you have a month to give that program a go. Have a look around, see what is out there, and trial a variety of different programs. If you do come across one that works really well, then you can maybe consider buying the full version of that program. If you film with your iPhone or iPad and things like that, you can actually use apps. The tutorial video that I mentioned earlier does explain how to edit videos using an app on your iOS device. I'm not entirely sure if there are ones available for the Android. I'm assuming there are. When it comes to editing in general, I'd also like to suggest looking up tutorials. I do this all the time if there's something I want to do with my video, but I'm not entirely sure how to go about doing it. I take to the YouTubes. I just search for a tutorial on my video editing software on how to do a certain thing, and more than likely there will be a video explaining how to do it. If you want to get a little bit more fancy with the editing, that's totally up to the software that you're using. Different programs have different features, so kind of have a look around, see what there is on that program. But one thing I want to mention in particular is music. When it comes to music on your videos, on YouTube, you have to be very careful because of copyright issues. Now, YouTube does have a library, there's no problems there, but I'm not entirely sure if you have as much freedom with it. I'm not sure if you're able to cut up that music and move it around or do weird things like that. I haven't really used it. The website that I find all my music from is freemusicarchive.com. But when you're looking around for songs, I also suggest keeping an eye out for what type of copyright license that particular song or that artist has. With some licenses, you have a little more freedom than others. Some of them are just like, you can do whatever the hell you want, you can change this up how you want, and you can monetize it. Other ones are a little more strict. So pay attention to the license and see what you actually can do with that music. How about getting seen? So what do you do now that you're able to make these videos and you can put them out onto the YouTubes? We make these videos in order to have them seen by others. But how do you go about getting your videos seen and in an appropriate manner? If your sole purpose in making videos is to get lots and lots of views, get heaps of subscribers, and make a lot of money from it, I advise stopping right there. To be honest, people can often pick up on that. I personally think that the best approach is to focus on making friends, not on finding viewers and subscribers. I think one of the best ways to do this is to post thoughtful comments on other people's videos. And by this, I mean actually responding to whatever is being talked about in the video and giving your own opinions, feedback. If you go around posting, "Hi, check out my new channel. Hi, check out my channel. Hi, check out my video," you might not get very far. A lot of people, including myself, actually get kind of irritated with these comments because they are spam comments. And YouTube does actually have a spam filter for comments, so most of these get picked up by that and they don't actually get posted publicly at the beginning. It really does just depend on the person though. Some people might not be as bothered by spam comments, but more often than not, I've actually found it discourages people from clicking on your link or your channel. That's not to say you can't link to your own channel or link to one of your videos. If you watch a review video or discussion video, any kind of video, and you yourself have made a similar one, there's nothing wrong with saying something like, "Oh, that's such a shame you didn't like this book. I really, really loved it. I thought it was amazing. I did a review about it if you want to know why." I don't know, something like that, that actually makes reference to the video that you're commenting on. Similarly, Finally, if you come across a video that in response you have a lot to say, go ahead and make a response video. This was so much better when video responses were still around, but there's nothing stopping you from creating a video in response to something, and obviously you can go to that person being like, hey, I responded with this video, blah, blah, blah. Another great way to get in contact with people and make new friends is through other social media outside of YouTube. Whether this be on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Goodreads, which is great because that's dedicated to books, anything like that. So I definitely recommend trying to be active on social media. Reach out to people, respond to people, encourage discussions, and talk about books. It's fabulous. Or maybe don't talk about books, you can talk about anything. So I think that's about all I have to say. I do want to end with this note though. Discover what works best for you. Everyone is different and everyone's channels and their videos are different. So keep practicing and trying new things, whether that be editing your videos or not editing them, scripting them and making notes, or just going completely off the top of your head, creating a schedule or just uploading a video whenever you feel like it, what kind of videos you post, but also how you structure those videos and your channel in general. Play around with things, have a bit of fun with it, get creative, and find what works best for you as a booktuber. So I really hope that you were able to take something away from this video, that it was helpful, even just a little bit. If you have anything you want to share with people, some pieces of advice or tips, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I'm sure that someone out there will be really happy that you shared it. So yes, that is all that I have for now. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!